So to start this lesson off, we're going to talk about content versus context. Write this down. Raise your hand if you've been hearing all online how to beat a bank. You see it on social media, you can beat a bank, you can build the bank, you can become the bank. Everybody talking about banking and they're just repeating content. And a 1-minute reel makes you think that they have context. In looking at a reel of somebody's life that they show you in a snippet, you begin to start to compare your life and think that you're inadequate or you don't have what it takes to win. Y'all, they told me as a PE teacher to be quiet in a library to start the year off when we were trying to figure out what our curriculums would be. They said, Jake, you're just a PE teacher. But my consulting company did over $16 million last year, teaching over 10,000 people in 22 countries. Just a PE teacher. But if I took the content that they was giving me, but not the context of what God told me, I would have believed what they said to be true. So when we talk about content, don't just listen to somebody, find the depth in what they say. So when we talk about banking, the easy way to build wealth, I'm the only one in the country that actually wrote curriculum on how to do it. Y'all see these textbooks? These are textbooks. I got my doctorate because I was able to defend my dissertation, which was this one. Proving that we all have the ability to become the bank. But if I don't understand the context, I would think that the content that I'm delivered, that I'm subjugated to always living a life that they told me I had to live. My father told me when I was 11 years old, son, don't depend on the bank for what you can do for yourself. I don't think that he thought I would take it literally, but I did. And I wanted to figure out, was that indeed true? So I start studying banks. I wasn't caught up in who was the influencer of the day. I wasn't caught up in how many followers someone had. I wanted to know what the banks were doing and what I could do to position myself to do the exact same thing. Y'all want to know how? So, how many of you all think that it's impossible to become your own bank? Tell the truth. Raise your hand. Let me see. Okay, thank you for being honest. Like, yo, I can be my own bank, bro. Seriously? I'm going to be my own bank. What I'm a bank? What I'm going to do when I'm banking, that I'm banking, that I'm banking? That I'm thinking about banking. And what I learned was, y'all, banks are nothing but well-ran families that have an organized business that use their profits to expand the family's mission. Write this down. Banks are nothing but well-organized families. Somebody may say, well, Jake, what does a well-organized family have to do with building an organization, a company? It has everything to do with it. If you don't know how to organize your family, how are you going to organize a business? You say, Jake, my family don't believe in me. Oh, okay. My family didn't either, and I retired everybody and put everybody into position too. So if you can't organize your house, how are you going to organize a business? If you can't sell the dream to your family, how are you going to sell the dream to the world? And this is the biggest key when it comes to banking. We all talk about, man, these just 5 families that control the world. Y'all know these families too. Not institutions. Y'all say these families control the world. But I don't know if y'all believe in God the way that I do. But it said that the wealth of the righteous is stored up in the hands of the wicked. So I say, if they can do it, I can do it. And so we build these businesses just to purchase depreciating assets to impress nobody but yourself. And you not even impressed with you. That's why we keep doing it. I gotta get a new car. You're not even impressed with what you said was your dream car, but now you got another dream car. That one wasn't really my dream car. This is my dream car. What are you chasing? So when I realized that banks were nothing but well-organized families that run profitable, write this down, businesses. Profitable businesses. Everybody say profitable businesses. Not high revenuing. Not businesses so that you can just speak on stage and everybody knows your name. I want to get on this podcast because that's what all the other people are doing. And a lot of people online don't have profitable businesses. So a well-organized family knows how to run profitable businesses, and they use their extra cash flow, say cash flow, to lend or acquire other businesses. See, we hustle backwards. In business, actively running your business, you're supposed to only go hard for about a decade. So when people say, man, I'm 15 years in the game, I'm 20 years in the game, actively running my business, I'm moving it forward, I'm sad. Because after a decade, your businesses are supposed to have acquired, lent, have that money working for you, and now you should be just managing what you used to actively work in. Because if a well-organized family is the root of why you're starting, how your family your excuse and your reason too? It's your reason why you started the business, but it's an excuse why you can never stop. No, the purpose of me starting this business so that eventually I can come back and I can be with my family, and now we're executing and growing our businesses and our banks and our portfolio long term. But we can never get off the high horse or the low horse of business because we're spending all of our money so that we can go buy these things. I've been there, that's what I'm telling you. And now you're stuck in a lifestyle that you cannot afford to stay in. Write this down. Just because, write it down, just because I can afford the price does not mean I can afford the cost. Just because I can afford the price does not mean I can afford the cost. Yeah, you want to get a Rolls Royce. That monthly payment you can make. But the cost of just the hubcap popping off is $1,500. So you can make the monthly payment, but you cannot afford the cost of the maintenance. So we want to build a 7-figure business, but you can't afford the cost of keeping it up. You want to hire 50, 100 employees, but you can't afford the cost of maintaining that. These are lessons that I had to learn. But it starts with a well-organized family. What is the objective of you getting into business? If it's truly for generational wealth, that means that your entire blueprint of how you run your business should be able to sustain itself for generations. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down, Ashley Ann style? Blink, 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 blink. So when I looked, y'all, I said, okay, these banks, let me just look at them as they are, a business, not an institution, because we like to do that. We like to make things institutions because we ain't got to fight that. But if I can look at it as a business that is ran by a family, I can see likeness in it just the same. So I said, okay, let me go and look at a couple of companies. First company I looked at was Wells Fargo's history. Y'all write Wells Fargo's down so you can do your own research later. I said, wait a minute. Wells Fargo didn't always be a bank. It was a water company. Did y'all know that? It's a water company. And what they did was they had a well of water, i.e. Wells Fargo. And they got this well of water, and they used to tote this well of water all the way to the people who needed it that wanted to purchase it. So you know what they did? It was two people that got together. They put their families together, two people. One person plus another person, they started a business. They said, hey, we got a well of water. So now let's take this well of water and let's sell it to people. Simple, right? Then they took the profits that they made from selling to people, and they didn't go buy the newest horse or the newest carriage. They didn't go and buy the newest, whatever they had back then. The little fake little white wig, y'all you see them in there? They didn't do that. They took this money and they began to lend it to other businesses that were just like them. So they took their profits. They understood the distribution game of water, and then they realized that other people want to mimic their system. So guess what they did? They used their extra money and started to lend to other businesses that wanted to get into their very industry. And they got gooder and gooder. They became efficient at it, and they realized, wait a minute, we're making more money lending now than we are selling what? But they started off as a business just like you got. So they went from transacting person to person to transacting contract to contract. I say, golly. That was Wells Fargo. I say, man, there has to be another example. There has to be another example. And I just can't find one, and they say in church, you got to be able to, I'm sorry, y'all, that wasn't Wells Fargo, that was Chase. Sorry, that was Chase. They did that, JP Morgan. So then from here, they then went to go and start lending to more businesses, and before you knew it, they became a bank. Wells Fargo. How many of y'all in here are business coaches? Raise your hand. Business coach? Anybody in here have a consulting firm? Sell courses? Okay. Anybody in here in the financial industry, you manage money? Okay. You sell insurance or real estate or something like that? Okay. That's all that Wells Fargo was. They were a consulting firm that taught people how to manage their money. Did y'all know that? So they were a consulting firm that taught people how to manage their money. And then guess what they did with the money, y'all? They began to lend it to other people, not go buy a new house. I mean, you've been broke all your life. You might as well just stay where you are. Now, all of a sudden, you got this burning desire. You want to move. I just need to move out of here. You was okay before you came to this conference. Now you're going back home. You know what? This is small. I can't even breathe. Why? Because you need the space from your cost of living versus the money that you make, the difference of that will determine how soon you'll become wealthy. So once I make more money, but I keep spending the exact same thing to keep up with the Joneses, guess what happens? You don't have room to actually go and start to self-fund your business and your life and your bank. Using the bank's money is supposed to be a temporary circumstance, a temporary strategy, not a lifelong partnership. But let me tell you what the banks do. The banks want you to keep spending as much as you're living, because that means that you always would need to depend on who? Them. So now you gotta bargain with them based on what they're willing to give you. This is what I learned about banking, y'all. When a bank sees you as an equal institution, you can call whatever rates you want. You don't fill out no application. You go talk to the banker. You show them your business structure. You show them the function of it. You show them that it's operating, that you got your SOPs in order, standards of procedures. You got staff, you got executives. You go to that bank and you talk to the head banker, they're gonna fill out the application for you, and they're gonna ask you, what would you wanna do? If you needed to use them. Why? Because they know that you don't need them. And you can operate better in that space. Why? Because they see you as an independent bank, too. Let me give you a strategy of what we did. A lot of people online talking about put your money in a life insurance policy, then you can become the bank, but they're not teaching nobody how to run a business. You can't become the bank still working a job. I'm sorry. If they told you that, they lied. You have to have actively growing income in order to really become your own bank. Other than that, you're just buying a very expensive life insurance policy. This is coming from one of the number 3 producers in the country. This is somebody who actually wrote curriculum about it. It's important for us to understand, if you just accept the content, you won't get the text. So becoming your own bank starts first with understanding that you gotta get your family organized. If you're operating, you're building your business, but you always arguing with your spouse about doing a business, 9 times out of 10, you don't have a well-organized plan that they can believe in because you quit all the time. Your mama don't believe you because you quit all the time. There's something called Big Sky Credit. Big Sky Credit says when you say you're gonna do something, how often do you actually do it? Y'all trying to work on credit score when you need to be working on that Big Sky Credit. Do you do what you say you're gonna do? So when we talk about building this bank, yes, I use insurance policies and reserves, but using an insurance policy is a part of an entire banking system. It is not the system. Y'all got me? So yes, banks put more money in insurance reserves than they do real estate. They do. But they not sitting on it. They got an actively profitable managing business first. So this is what happens. This is what the bank